uprising, aspects of the expatriate left believe this to be a leftist revolution, even the commencement of a communist revolution. At the same time, conservatives and new conservatives believe it to be a call for American democracy. Joe Lieberman, John McCain, Cato Institute, they all love green bandana. New liberals believe this to be a call for open market economy, middle class emancipation, human rights, women's rights, including your own prestigious Hoover Institute. Old-fashioned liberals believe it does not exist and that President Obama should rush and negotiate with Ahmadinejad, the deliberate couple. The US Arab left hated, to some of them, this is a CIA Saudi plot. Hugo Chavez and Hassan Nasrallah hated because of their attachment to Brother Ahmadinejad. And what we have is a battle of perception. So what in the world is the green movement? It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Something is happening in Iran. Again, we don't know quite what it is. We assimilate it backward to what we already know. My proposal and what I plan to do today is to abandon it as a signifier and look for its signs, which is far more exciting. So I have more things to show you and music to play for you rather than tell you what green movement is in certainty. I have occasions to talk about what I believe this to be, but in a very, very cautious way. It is a floating signifier. It means different things to different people. Religious intellectuals believe this to be the green means green of Islam. Others believe that the color green is multi-significatory. It means many things. Signifiers are very clumsy. Signs are chaotic and frivolous. So I'm back to Nietzsche. So, green movement is a UFO. I referred to you to a passage in Hamlet when Hamlet and Polonius are having a conversation about a piece of a cloud in the street, in the sky. You see yonder cloud is almost in the shape of a camel. Hamlet is playing with Polonius, and Polonius is being accommodating. Yes, he says, by the mask, looks like a camel. Hamlet says, well, I think it looks like a weasel. And Polonius says, yeah, it kind of looks like a weasel. And he says, well, maybe a whale. And Polonius says, yes, he's a whale. That's our story. From our own story, this is blind men and the elephant from Rumi's story in the dark room. It is very important to know that we are dealing with an amorphous phenomenon. We don't know quite what it is. Even people like Flint Everett Leverett and his wife, they believe that the green movement does not exist. Quoting from an article that they wrote in the New York Times, those who talk so confidently about an opposition in Iran as the vanguard for a new revolution should be made to answer 3 questions. What does the opposition want? Who are its leaders? And what is the process? Ultimately concluding that this green movement is a hype made by Western media. Which reminds me of a very famous quotation by Golda Meir, that Palestinians don't exist. The problem that we have is that Leverett's belief green movement does not exist. Golda Meir thought that the Palestinians don't exist, and then there is this artist, Iranian, born in 1981. She lives in Iran, she has grown up in Iran, and this is one of the first paintings that she did. She now is in Holland. I've made contact with her, in touch with her. I love her work, and I will have many occasions to talk about her work. So, let's look at some evidence. This is from a mass rally on 25th of Khordad, 15th of June, which happens to be my birthday. And I assure you, they're not here for my birthday. And here's another.
Into Revolution Square. The place named after the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The very event many of the protesters now want to see overturned. Give us our votes, they chanted. Go, go, dictator, they screamed. The crisis in this country is not just about the election. Behind the anger at the alleged vote theft is something even deeper, frustration at living in a theocracy. In stark contrast to Sunday's pro-Ahmadinejad rally, Monday's event was packed with women. That they turned up at all is testament to the depth of feeling. Earlier in the day, the interior...
So, that something is happening, and the evidence of it is all over the place, is for sure, and the question is, what is it? Now, one of the things that we need to ask is this question about Western media, that I will have occasion to talk about what exactly is Western media. Through the Western media, okay, because something is happening fundamentally with the very architecture of mass media. Can Iranians speak? Can they represent themselves? 4 major leaders of the Islamic Republic are now its icons, in various degrees. A 2-term president, 8-year prime minister, speaker of the House, and another 2-term president. Most senior Shia cleric in Iran is considered its spiritual father, Ayatollah Montazeri. His funeral was the occasion for asserting the power of this movement. Iranian feminists are pissed off why, before we had a mother for this child, we have rushed to identify a father for it. Leading Iranian public intellectuals support it. Major women's rights movements are its precursors. Major Iranian labor movements have joined force with it. Scores of leading university professors campaign for it, in Iran that is. Major student unions defend it and are beaten for it. Millions of Iranians around the globe rally for it. Bloggers, rappers, journalists, teachers, homemakers, artists, photographers, poets, novelists, playwrights, clerics, human rights activists, philosophers, students, activists, cartoonists, satirists, historians are for it. Can Iranians speak for themselves? This is Jafar Panahi, who was, until today, I believe the news is that he has been released on bail, was in solitary confinement. And Jafar Panahi is not just anybody. Jafar Panahi has made a lifetime career making films such as Crimson Gold and Circle, identifying the social malaise of Iran as a dedicated, committed, and world-renowned filmmaker. And this is the text of a telephone conversation that he had with his wife when he was in jail, in which his wife and his daughter, his young daughter, were threatened to be taken to one particularly notorious jail because he was accused of making a secret film that he categorically denies. Can Iranians please speak for themselves? This is from a rally in Isfahan, where